died in the insurgency attacks in Palma in northern Mozambique says he was shot while trying to escape to safety. Adrian Nel was killed on Friday while in a getaway vehicle with his brother and father leaving the Amarula Lodge Hotel when he was killed in an ambush, allegedly by an ISIS-linked group. I want to bring in now our reporter Mlondi Radebe, and he is with Adrian's mother. Mlondi, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Blaine. Good afternoon to the viewers at home. We are in Zinkwazi, north coast of KwaZulu-Natal, where the mother is waiting for the family to come back from Mozambique. And she received the sad news that one of his son was killed during the attack in Mozambique. Meryl Knox will briefly tell us about the way he found out from the family about the passing of his son. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time. Can you briefly tell us about the unfolding of events from Wednesday?
Okay, on Wednesday afternoon I was driving back from Durban when a friend of ours phoned to say, is my husband safe, because he's heard the attacks in Palma. And I said to him, oh my word, because not only is my husband there, but my two sons are there too. And when I got home, I tried frantically to find out what's going on and to phone them. They couldn't obviously answer their cell phones because the coverage had gone down, network had gone down. And yes, trying to find out what's going on. I saw online a little bit about it and was beyond worried. So at 9 o'clock that night, my husband did manage to phone me from somebody's satellite phone and let me know they are at that time safe in the Amarula Hotel there with a whole lot of other expats, and hopefully the army is going to sort out these insurgents and they'll get evacuated. During the night, somebody sent a clip of the gunfire that was just continuous, and it sounded like huge weapons, and of course that makes you even more frightened for them. And by Thursday morning, I was in contact with my youngest son via WhatsApp because they had no electricity there, so obviously his was the only cell phone that was working. And he let me know, we're going to be okay, they're coming to evacuate us. Then we got a message to say that the evacuations had commenced. Meantime, they only managed to evacuate a few people. I believe they evacuated a few women and children to start with. And then it got late on Thursday afternoon and the evacuation stopped. I think the gunfire carried on and was too bad for them to keep on with the evacuations. So all during the night we were waiting to hear more news. Unfortunately, there wasn't much on the news platforms about this, and which is very stressful. You don't know what's happening. I managed to get onto a WhatsApp group in that area where I was getting little bits of information that was getting fed from guys who still had time on their cell phones or signal to send out messages to loved ones. So that was basically the only communication that we had from that way. The manager of my son and husband and other shareholders' company in Joburg was also trying his best, and he was in contact with people. I think it must have been from DAG, the Dyke security company, who had helicopters in the area. And so we were getting info there too that the situation was really awful. And so every time you read that, and then they'll say the gunfire's calmed down, and you think, okay, the guys can get evacuated now. There was a boat sent, and it was obviously close by, but couldn't get any closer. Hopefully they would be safe to get to the boat. And when that didn't happen, then we heard that the army had actually retreated and these insurgents were taking over. And they were surrounding the hotel. So I think by Friday morning, the last I heard from my youngest son was, we're waiting to be evacuated. We don't know. And then it was just very sparse, the information that was coming through. Then I saw on this WhatsApp group somebody giving them instructions for a convoy, to make up a convoy and to try and make a run for it. So between late afternoon, 4:30, 5, I believe the convoy tried to leave. And these insurgents ambushed them, and that was when my son was shot. My husband and my other son managed to get away with Adrian in the car, and I'm not too sure what happened after that. I do know that they were told to go to the lighthouse, but apparently there was an army camp there and they had no way of letting them know that they weren't insurgents, so they were frightened they were going to get shot if they went there for safety. So where they went to and sat out the night until the next morning before the helicopters managed to get hold of them. So the whole of Saturday morning we were just waiting for news of, hopefully they were getting safe, they would be safe. Eventually I got news that they had managed to get them and take them to the Fungi camp, and from there they were put onto a plane to Pemba. And it's just been too horrific, and I've decided to do this for all the other people that have loved ones still in this situation, and nothing's happened. There's been hardly anything in the news about this. Nobody stepped up to try and help, and it was just a private security firm that used helicopters to try and keep these insurgents at bay.
Has the South African government, have you tried to communicate with the South African government to try and assist?
Yes, I did phone Durka on Thursday, and the lady was helpful. She gave me two people's email addresses to contact, and by then we were just monitoring the cell phones to get any news. So I thought, well, there's pointless sending emails, because when I'd spoken to her, she said she can't tell me much. Because nothing's really coming, no information's coming out of there. There's been too much fighting. They can't go in there and see what's happened. So eventually on Friday afternoon, I contacted her again, and I said to her, please, what's being done? We don't know what's happening with these guys. And the same story was told, that they really don't know, there's too much gunfire. And she gave me the High Commissioner's number in Maputo. But then I didn't bother, because a wonderful man from Mozambique had been in contact with me, because he saw my post on this WhatsApp group. I said, please, will somebody let us know what the truth of the situation is? And by then he said to me, it's not good news. Some of the convoy were shot and killed. And some escaped, and others ran back into the hotel, and others have run to the beach. So we spent the whole of Friday night trying to find out what on earth was going on. And eventually Saturday morning, our manager up in Joburg phoned with the bad news that Adrian had been killed, one of those that had been killed, but that Greg and Wesley was still alive and were going to get evacuated.
Do you feel that there was anything that was going to be done, maybe by the government or the soldiers, to prevent this from happening?
Absolutely. This is not old news that these insurgents have been in that area, and seeing as Total, the biggest gas find in the world, is there, the Mozambican army should have really been strong, and not just around the gas plant, but in the actual Palma town itself, which apparently wasn't so. And yes, I'm disappointed that South Africa wasn't allowed to send troops in to help with the situation. I'm also disappointed that it took so long before our president had a meeting about this, and that the rest of the world has sat back and also not insisted on doing something. Mozambican government has had this problem ongoing for a long time, and I think they've been offered help from different countries before, and they haven't wanted to accept that help. This whole situation could have been prevented. I ask you how 100 insurgents are able to capture a town and plunder and destroy, and nobody does anything for 2 days. Nothing's done. It's just too terrible. One small private security company is the only one, and they don't use ground forces. They only use helicopters.
Someone will ask, what was Adrian and the father doing in Mozambique?
In Palma. My husband and my youngest son are part of a company that had a contract to build accommodation for contractors there. Adrian normally is a commercial diver, but because of the lockdown, he lost his job in diving in Congo, and obviously forced to find other employment. So he went up in January and helped out building the camp.
How is the family feeling around this incident?
We are absolutely broken and devastated. Adrian was just such a big part of this family, and much loved by everybody, friends, family, relatives, everyone. He is the best dad to his children, good husband to his wife, and just the most beautiful son you can ever think of. We are crushed, and we're just so upset that this could have been avoided.
At this point in time, do we know when are they coming back to South Africa?
Yes, we do. My youngest son is going to get on a plane tomorrow afternoon. My husband's waiting for Adrian's body to be released and the paperwork to be done, which I believe is all organised, and hopefully get on a plane once everything's in order.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time to allow us in your home.
Okay, thank you for allowing everybody to know what's happening up there.
That's the mother of the late Adrian in Mozambique that was attacked on Friday night, and they are still waiting for the body to come back to South Africa. The sad part that they are saying that it's too late for the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, to meet with the President of Mozambique to try and resolve this problem, because they feel that it's too late for them, because this was a thing that has been going on for the past years. And back to you, Blaine, in studio.
Yeah, Mlondi Radebe, thank you very much indeed for your reporting, and thanks to Meryl Knox as well for giving us the details. I know it can't be easy talking to us with regards to her son, but we appreciate the reporting. We're also getting some information with another South African who went missing after this attack in Palma. We are still verifying this information. As soon as we have more, we will bring it to you on this channel. Stay tuned for that. Earlier